This is like the third one this year for him.
It's about that time.
Can we see?
It looks promising.
Well, now we have 4 participants.
Nice.
See if Rob, you there? Rob.
This is Jonathan, I'm here. I'll
Oh,
speak to
Jonathan,
you.
okay, so.
Jonathan, can you see us?
I can't, well, yeah, with my glasses on, it's a lot better.
Okay.
Success.
That's funny.
All right, I'm going to mute you, Jonathan, until public comments, if you want to do that. And let's, oh yeah, okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, just remind me when it gets to public comments, we have to let them in.
Okay.
All right, yeah, good evening. Welcome to the Road Advisory Committee meeting. Today is December 4th,
It is.
2024, and I'm sorry, I just lost the top sheet. Oh, because Jessica had it. Okay, sorry, a call to order at
6:38.
6:38, thank you. The clock is wrong. We apologize for the late start here. We were having issues with logging into Zoom. We're missing our Chris Chang and Ian Hubert, who usually run Zoom for us, but we were able to get in. Roll call.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
David,
Sure.
Carolyn,
Here.
Jillian,
Here.
Here.
here, absent, Pat and Ian.
Yes. On to adoption of the agenda. Did everybody have a chance to look at the agenda? Are there any changes or additions? No. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Adopt.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second. Okay, motion approved. Agenda adopted. This is the time for public comments. We do not have anyone present other than us. So let's go to the online. I'm sorry about this, kind of going back and forth. Anyone online that would like to speak during public comments? Raise your hand.
I can sit there if you like, Jillian.
Or just
Do you want to? Okay.
I can't find it. I'd like to raise my hand.
Oh, no, you don't have to now since you unmuted yourself. If you have something to say, Jonathan, go ahead.
I do, real quick. First of all, thank you so much for reaching out to Gary over at WCRC at Road Commission, Jillian, and he told me right away that they were going to open up Park Road at Green Mountain Circle for the residents of Trailwood. And we were all very excited. We found out today that the Washtenaw County Road Commission was asked to stop with that by the developer, Dave Stolman. When someone asked Dave Stolman today why he asked them to not open that, he said that it wasn't his choice, that it was the Road Commission that decided to do that, to not open it up. So we're getting two different stories. It seems like everything was moving ahead until the developer got involved. And I'm trying to understand why the developer would want to make us in Trailwoods less safe all winter, meaning ambulances, fire trucks are going to take an extra 5 minutes to get to our homes because they can't go down Park Road. The whole winter, they're not working on the street. It's held up because of a gas line problem. So it's going to sit there all winter and we can't use it. It seems ridiculous. And it seems like it's the developer trying to prevent us from using it. Why? I have my suspicions, but I'll leave that for another time. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. I have to say that it was on my list to call the road commission, but somebody beat me to it and I don't know who that was. So I can't take credit for that. It was you?
No.
Then it must have been Christy or somebody in the office, but it doesn't matter. It's
It was
open.
Christy. She
It
gets
was
the
Christie,
kudos.
okay.
Yeah, she gets the kudos.
All right, I will let her know. Yeah, Christie's right on top of things. She's great.
Jonathan, can I ask, are they picking up your trash? Is that gonna interrupt trash pickup if that road isn't open?
No, not at all. And that's not, the trash issue was about them allowing construction garbage to blow onto our property, and that is been resolved by them not building them by anyone. But thank you for asking.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. Anyone else?
Is the audio any better tonight than it was last night? Jillian, can you hear me? Oh, the roads committee is muted. Linda, you've got to unmute on Zoom if you can hear me. See in the bottom left corner of the roads committee, it's got the red microphone with a line through it. That means it's muted.
There we go.
There you go. Yep.
Thank you.
And so is last night, my audio apparently was difficult to hear. Is it difficult to hear tonight?
Yes, it's the same,
Oh,
but
interesting.
so was Jonathan. Jonathan was. And there was other people last night as well, and I'm writing it down. So tomorrow I'll talk with Julio, our IT.
I could hear Jonathan perfectly clearly as normal. So I'm not sure what the source is, but there's something going on.
Okay. Zoom. Audio, okay. Anything else for your public comment, Jonathan? Or Rob? Sorry.
Nope, all set. Have a good meeting.
Yep, thank you. Same to you.
Julio.
He's our, well, our new IT person. He's been here about 3 months. He just had his,
So there was another Chris.
yeah, he's coming back. He was on medical.
Oh,
So he's coming back on the night.
so they're gonna have two?
Mhm.
Okay,
Well, a full and a part-time.
okay.
Okay, let's see. Moving on to
Julian,
communication.
forgive me, I'm sorry, I'm
Sure.
deaf and we're hearing aids. And the first question was Park and Stabler, why it couldn't be reopened, or was there an access road that they wanted open? I couldn't.
Oh,
hear.
no, right, yeah, well, Harkins Stabler from the developer, the development, WCRC, said that they had to change the road, the bridges were bad.
Sure,
There's some other things that were going on, and this took a long time. And there had to also, there's something about the culvert having to be changed.
It's been changed, but they've got an issue with a gas main as far as their final ditching and paving for that project, so they're stuck. It's too late to pave.
Yeah, they didn't know about the utility.
did they take the old bridge out, and
Yes.
so the current bridge is not capable of
Well,
crossing?
the culvert's still there, but they covered it with wood instead of with dirt.
Hmm.
And so it's very slippery when it's wet. But the problem is that they put up barricades so that you cannot pass down Park Road to get to the Stabler Road Bridge anymore. So if you.
Can I offer some additional information to save you some time?
Sure,
This isn't about the Park and Stabler intersection. It's about opening Green Mountain Circle at Park Road, which is far, far, far before that problem that you're discussing.
yeah, correct, Jonathan, but this whole construction, it was, this whole thing was supposed to be finished by fall, I think, or late, yeah, November.
Yeah, they're saying May now.
Yeah, but they didn't know at the time that there was a utility issue. So then they just said they're gonna shut it down totally. Well, from on Park Road, there's Green Mountain Circle here, there's Stabler over here, but they were gonna have the whole thing shut down. Then everybody would have to go into Trailwoods off of Stabler. Well, it didn't need to be shut down. So that's what the residents were asking
Got it,
for,
I understand.
for the winter, or to be open for the winter. So somebody, Christie, was able to get that open because it just didn't make sense. So now they have one way in and one way out, or however they want to do that.
Got it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, and it's hard to believe that they missed the utility easements or lines or whatever at the time, but anyways, that's that. You learn a lot about roads,
Yeah.
especially when they're not open. Moving on to correspondences and communications, we really didn't have any except for the WCRC invitation. If anybody's open to, this is on February 27th, it's a save the date, Roads 101. This will be next door from 10 to 12:30. Lunch will be provided for in-persons attending. So if anybody, I'm assuming,
What's hybrid meeting?
well, you can either log in by Zoom or in person, but they're not gonna feed you on Zoom.
And what is this Roads 101?
I'm assuming there wasn't much more to it, but, there was another letter, but it was more of like, welcome supervisor, but anyways, this was in there. And I'm assuming that any of us can go, should go if we are able to. And they'll just go over roads and, the or how we pay for roads, just different things that are the 101, just very,
Kind of like the presentations that sometimes WCRC has done to the board to kind of just like, here's how roads work, and, or maybe they've
Yeah,
done WCRC.
probably,
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I mean, there wasn't anything else, but that's, in February 27th. Yeah, I think that,
Yeah.
I will look to see, it's a Thursday, so more than likely I'll be able to attend. So anybody that wants to go with me,
You said it's noon to,
it's
10 to
10 to
12:30.
12:30.
It's a Thursday, yeah.
But that was it for communications. Wait, is that right? Yes. And on to discussion. Of course, thank you, Caroline and Patrick, for working on the newsletter article. I wanted to put it in even though it had to be over to our newsletter editor, and then, I can't remember when she told us the newsletter would actually be in the mailboxes, but I thought it would be good to put this in here, and yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for your input. Very helpful.
So moving on to road advisory committee tasks and action list for December. And the only thing that, I know we have the capital improvement plan on this list, but I moved that from there to under unfinished business, and that's what we have to work on tonight. But I wanted to go through the list here just to, I mean, we're making progress, which is really nice. And even for meeting once a month, we do get a lot done. So, well, newsletter, check. The road and culvert prioritization list. So remember last meeting, I was asking, or it was it 2 meetings ago, asking about a culvert map.
Right.
Well, in the back, under educational information and newsletters, the road commission has sent, that was, now I'm receiving other emails as well, but this was in an email, and I think this is really, it's on their website, but it was, sometimes on their website, it's hard to find things. So, yeah, so they send this, funding local road improvements in Washtenaw County. So this is spring of 2024. We'll receive another one in the spring of 2025. However, I'm tooling through it. Just, some of it we already, it's kind of boring, but some of it's really exciting. They're on,
28, I think, or page 20.
I don't know what the page is. But, oh, here,
Is this
the,
attachment in the agenda?
so go under news, education and what did I say? Oh, information and newsletters.
Yeah.
Yeah, page 8. They don't have the page number on the map, but it's right after planning your
So that's the
investment.
local road funding packet? Or
Yeah.
what the- Okay.
And I think this is going to be helpful for us. So there's the primary and local paved roads, and this is the Pacer rating.
Page are you on?
It would be page 8 of
8.
the road commission
Attachment.
attachment, but I don't know what, as far as our,
That's was the one we were looking for.
That's one that has like all the red
We just
squiggly
couldn't
lines.
get it.
Yeah.
Right.
now these are the roads that primary and local paved roads only. And this will be helpful for us because it does show, some of this is outdated, by the way, because we know that Dino Drive and Medi Drive were completed. So they still have them, but that will be updated next year. But then we can look at some of these other roads, and this may be helpful because the red is poor, fair is yellow, and then the green is good. I'm surprised, well, yeah, it's good, just good. And some of these have already been done, so they should be better than good. But we could use this as a guideline as well to our, road the road project list. Then if you go to, this would be page 21, but on page 20, it says Appendix D, Township Local Road Investment Map. This gives us a little bit more information.
You said 20?
Yeah, well, it would be 21, but it's, if you get to page 20, it says Appendix
There it is,
D, it
yeah.
would be the next page. Yeah, here it is. So this is, this does have gravel roads on here. Where the other one,
Just paved.
well, yeah, and neighborhood roads as well. So the other one doesn't. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. I don't know, it's kind of strange, but, this has gravel roads. So we can tell that down at the bottom, 2019 through 2023, they provide colors for each year. And then they match those colors to the roads and when they were completed or improved, I should say. This would be really helpful for us as well. I don't know why I didn't know about this before. I guess I just opened up the first couple of pages of the thing. Then if you go to Appendix E, which is on page 22, road, bridges and culverts, this is what we were asking for. Now, of course, we also know that some of these culverts have been, well, either completed or on the list to be completed. So this could help us with our own list. And then also when it comes down to capital improvement plans and the budget. And right now, I don't believe,
How High is done, and Night Road is done.
Yeah,
I
those
know
are the
those
two.
both for sure.
yeah, so we can make those a circle, I guess. We can't change them to green unless somebody has a green marker. I don't. Well, and I guess Night Road is a red circle, so that was poor condition.
We're looking at the culverts now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, oh, because that was, okay, those are,
So
So the-
whose responsibility are Scio Church's culverts? And we've got one right on Scio Church Road. And that's a split between the two townships.
I'm assuming it would be the road commission because
Because
it's
that's
the
a
primary,
primary.
yeah. But the rest of them. Just look, and then,
Well, that leaves us three more culverts that are red that haven't been dealt with this year.
so where do you see, the state,
You
well,
said
Stabler will
was
be
done.
finished, so that one's red.
Night Road is done, but actually, to be frank with you, it's kind of scary. Because I took some pictures of it. And this one in particular, you can see the culvert is done, but that there's no barrier. And if somebody, and in this particular area, the swale of the road, the swale of the land, if somebody hits this, if there's a curve, an S curve, and they hit this wrong, it can easily go down into this culvert area, it'd be too, yeah, and I sent Adam, you can also see it here. No, that's not a good one, this one's better.
Yeah.
What are the requirements for the, I mean, the county road commission is the county road commission, but I was looking at the work they did at Park and Stapler the other day. I walked down and actually looked at the culvert that they replaced, rerouting the stream. And there's no soil erosion measures taken at all. There's no straw blanket, there was no stone put on the, and it's a steep cut. So the sediment that is gonna wash down in there and erode through the winter is gonna be.
I don't know if it's the developer that's doing that, but it's a.
It's
Under,
McKenzie that's, the corporation that's actually doing the work, but I don't know if they were contracted through Trailwoods or through the
yeah,
county road commission or through.
It
But
would-
if anyone else would be penalized by soil erosion for having improper
well, that,
erosion control on a steep slope going into a stream.
yeah, and that, I mean, they talked about the protection of that stream, it's, part of Honey Creek, I believe. You know, over and over again, that was a big thing. So Mackenzie, it would be the developer paying for it. Mackenzie was involved because the meetings I went to, they were doing the presentation. But it seems like the road commission would be overseeing. And maybe we could, and the drain commission would be involved.
I don't, you literally have to, park your car at the barricades and then walk out to it to see it. So,
Would you like to contact the road commission?
I certainly can. I
If
just-
you have time? Oh, you're gonna show it?
This is the one on Knight Road, and it's unusual if you're familiar with Knight Road.
It does
It's
have-
high, and then it kind of comes, the swale line kind of turns, it becomes an S. And this is right at the base of the S, and then it goes uphill, but then it's downhill and then uphill. And it just looks like there's no protection there. It's a low area, and if it gets snow or icy, somebody's gonna,
Is this somebody's driveway right here?
no,
Oh, that's going down into the culvert?
yeah.
And there's the,
Yep, that's the culvert there and the culvert there. So it's just, I talked to Adam about it, he was gonna send Ken Harris back out.
yeah, do you have another picture?
I do,
This
but
is
it's not
kind
as
of the
good.
same area that the person that came and spoke with us about Knight Road being dangerous was alluding to, the S curve there.
There's the culvert.
It was narrow.
there's the-
Oh.
Yeah,
And there's
that's
no
right.
protection, so that if somebody's going fast and, it's 40 miles an hour, is.
Well,
the
the two
approved
cars are
limit.
trying to pass each other on
And
that.
it's
Yeah.
narrow, true.
And even if they put like a small barrier there, that
Yeah.
would be,
That's what I had suggested, but Ken Harris was supposed to go look at it, and I never got back with Ken.
okay, thank you. Well, anyway, these maps will be helpful. When we get to January and we have the whole crew together, the whole group.
Is there merit in me going to FedEx and printing us those maps and for January's meeting, so that everybody in the RAC has them in front of them and we can play with them and circle them and talk to them?
Well, we can print here.
You can print color here,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I
Yeah,
think we do need to, I don't know, bookmark these so that we have them. As we'll lose them again.
and we just want the maps, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we don't need the whole,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
let me,
I'm a visual learner, I'm a visual, and I got that in front of me and I can see it.
absolutely. Okay, so
Well, because we can't make the changes to them on the screen, it wouldn't hurt to have a copy printed and then make notes on it.
Yeah,
it's the culvert, Pazer, and what was the other one?
There was a Pazer culvert and,
Local roads and local neighborhoods and gravel road.
that was what, the one on 21, 22?
We went,
21 was local road investment map.
Which was the neighborhoods and gravel.
we'll need, 7 copies, because and then with Chris Chang. And then for January, I also have, well, that'll be part of our list, okay.
So those 3 maps.
Okay, great. Okay, and then let's get back to the task list. I just thought that was some like, wow, it's been under our nose the whole time. I didn't even know it.
I think Linda, you often talked about how you'd scoured and scoured and scoured. and you
I
said,
swear I was through this report, but I didn't look at the addendums. I looked at the report itself.
Yeah, like, oh, I have to read through this whole thing, you know? It wasn't that bad, but.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All 3 of them are terrific maps to have. Kind of what we've been wanting and they've been, yeah, they're kind of right there.
Well, what happened to us a couple of years ago was that we, made a request for road improvements, but we didn't use the word culverts. And so then it came to our attention, that there were some culverts that needed funding. But because we hadn't asked the board for culverts, we'd only asked the board for roads. Those didn't get done that year. So we're trying to
Tomato, tomato.
proactively, well,
But it makes a difference, I know.
Yeah, because
It does make a big difference, yeah.
it makes sense to be under roads, but we
Yeah.
think of the actual
Think so.
road and, yeah, and then we're also. Sidewalks, I know this has been a topic for a while, but. Yeah, I had a conversation with Clerk Flintoff last night, because there's my name in the capital improvements and I have some sidewalks there and I'm like, wait a minute, does RAC do sidewalks or don't we? Cause we've been asking this for how long? But we'll get there. I have to find out more information. All right, regarding, let's see, so the WCRC maps for, oh, the GIS. I know that they said, let's keep this on Excel, but we're gonna outgrow Excel eventually, but we'll get the list of roads on Excel and then we'll transfer them to GIS. We also need in our GIS system that Scio has for utilities, but we're also needing one for parks. And then I said, oh, and roads too. That way, anybody, when we're long gone, they can still go into GIS and have all the roads and, the culverts and anything else that we need to, it'll be easy for them.
So the
for us.
Excel is just like is a populated vehicle that will import into GIS and then will no longer be on Excel, right?
I'm assuming. Yeah, but that's to make sure everything's on our system. Yeah, because if not, we're just passing Excel from one person to another.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Park Ridge gravel uplift, I'm still, oh, no, we'll get there because that is, under our capital improvement plan. Caroline, history and maintenance,
Working on it. Working on it.
okay, do you have any updates for that?
No, nothing. It's compilation. I'm
Okay.
compiling.
Yeah, great, thanks. I did, at the attorney meeting, I did bring up to Mariah Fink, hey, have you looked at the nuts and bolts for us yet? And she's like, it's on my list. We're piling lots on her, so, she'll get to it. And then, begin in special assessment policies in January. Clear up township improvement, I asked about that again, and they said, yeah, we're getting into it. I said, I've been hearing that for 1.5 years. We've all been hearing that for 1.5 years. So while the budget season is looming, March 31st is our, deadline. During this time, let's just figure it out. But there has been some progress. I just didn't know about the progress. But there's still lots of things for them to do. I don't know all the details. Resolutions, okay, gotta put that aside for now, it's still ongoing.
Really? Oh my.
Yeah, I still have things to put together or search for in order to fill in the pieces.
By the way, thank you for putting that into the newsletter. I was debating on whether or not to put that little piece about working for them in your edition, your paragraph that you put in about that. I think you did, didn't you?
In what?
In the newsletter, in the submission for the newsletter. Didn't you put a paragraph in about that you're working on that? Or- Okay, maybe I'm confused.
In the news, our blurb?
Our blurb.
No, I didn't put it. Yeah, not yet.
There was something else.
When it gets,
Are you? December 9th?
Mhm.
okay, we're gonna be discussing capital improvement plan for DDA. We're gonna have to,
Where do you see that?
Well, I just was looking at this and we tried to meet again in September 9th. We'll get there. Sorry, I'm jumping again.
no, that's fine because DDA was actually on the next.
So we're inviting any RAC members that want to come and have a joint meeting with DDA on December 9th,
Okay.
which is next week,
What time?
noon.
And
here.
that's Monday, right? Yeah, we kept it on a Monday.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, we'll be reviewing or creating the capital improvement plan for the DDA.
I'm trying to understand if we don't have a quorum.
We'll
for
have a quorum.
DDA, well, it sounds like RAC will have a quorum, but I don't know if I'll have a quorum for DDA yet.
Yeah, we had, quite a few
We have
responded
Ryan.
saying,
Okay, good.
or, did you respond?
I don't remember.
Okay, but I know that,
I will be there.
Jeff Hershey, there's Ryan, Jeff Hershey, you, me. I think Jen said yes.
Okay.
Jay Holland said yes. Yeah.
Oh,
we'll be
okay,
fine.
then we do have,
Yeah,
quorum.
we'll be
Good. My question was, if we didn't have a quorum, we have a discussion, we won't have enough, completed enough to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
So that's here.
I
mhm.
think
In
here,
this room.
here.
Mhm. And Monday. Yes, that is Monday, Tuesday. Okay, it's the 10th, other things going on. Okay, public outreach and communication. So Mary Gillis, I've had more conversations with her, and she is not just the newsletter, but she is going to oversee social media. And then anything that we need to announce on the website. So anything that we need for roads. So if something comes up, you know, in the spring, hey, this is the mud season, be patient until it stops raining, so the road commission or something like that, we can give that to Mary and she can put it out there for us. So that's really nice, then we don't really have to, you know, have our own person do that. So at the meetings, we can talk about what we want her to put out there, if there is anything.
Kind of like those little sub boxes rather than a full blurb. It's just kind of like.
Well, that's for the newsletter, but if there's something we want the public to know about,
Oh.
she'll push it out through Facebook and Nextdoor.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, and then we will always have to keep up on our website. There was something, oh, so this newsletter or whatever it is from the road commission, I checked, we should have a link on our website for this.
For the one that has the
maps
the
and-
ones that we want, that road.
Yeah, what is
The
this called?
hyperlink.
Yeah, yeah. And we have other things from WCRC, but this funding local road improvements in Washtenaw County. This is, I think that would be really helpful. I mean, at least it's there if they look at it or not, or, you know,
Yeah, it's there.
seems like us road
Good idea.
nerds.
That's a
Great
good
idea.
idea.
Okay. And the
PDF.
the link, yeah, it would link to UCRC, let's see, funding local road improvements. Okay. Anything else under discussion or anything that you have that you would like to talk about, or should we wait till reports?
I have attempted, as I told you, to get a hold of the postmaster. It's been a large, long, arduous task, and I finally linked up with him 2 days ago.
Wow.
We had a good, long discussion, and then I talked to him again this morning by phone. I have his personal cell phone number. Because he understood how difficult it was for me to communicate with him. He is researching everything. There are obviously different categories for a resident who lives in a rural area versus a resident in a subdivision versus somebody in an apartment complex. and he was not fluent with, what happens in the decision-making on what side of the road the mailboxes go on based on, a rural area. And I consider that where the incident occurred. To be frank with you, he did not know the individual gentleman was killed, September 24th. He was not aware of that whatsoever.
Oh,
So that was illuminating to him, and I think that kind of energized it. So I'm gonna call him at 8:45 Friday morning on his personal cell, and he is gonna give me chapter and verse on what the regulation says for the postal service on locating mailboxes.
yeah,
Wow, thank you.
yeah, thank you, yeah. It should be that especially in those areas, your mailbox should be in front of your property, so you
Yes.
don't have to walk across the road. It's different if it's in a neighborhood, you have more.
Well, but there's line of sight and there's, it can't be on an intersection and there's gonna be other pieces that come into
Yeah.
it as far as what can be serviced and can't be.
Yeah, that's a shame that happened. Great, unfinished business, so we are to the capital improvement plan. I did bring. They sent it to me, and I'm sorry, I didn't make copies because this is all I was I thought, should I bring my computer? But then we would all have to look at the computer. But I think we can work with this. So this would be on the computer, it's an Excel, and there's different departments. They do not have roads here because we don't have a budget at this point, but Clerk Flintoff and I were talking, and we should still create, and we'll figure out the funding later, because this is capital improvement plan kicks off the budget, and then we can deal with the budget later. So I said, well, we're working on our road list. And you had said 400,000, just start with there. And then we would have the $100,000 grant from WCRC. And so I said, we've been working on which roads to do and trying to do the match. She goes, oh, you don't have to do that at this point. You just have to, how much should you put aside? So I'm like, well, if you think 400,000, let's just plug it in every year. And then we can, if we have a millage or however, then we can raise it, the plan. Now, and basically if you look, let's see. And they have the department head name at the bottom where the total is, so they kind of may throw you off a little bit, so show you here, and then we'll pass it around. Like for Chief Hood, he needs a cardiac monitor, and then whatever else he needs. Then he breaks it down by how much it is and how many years out it would, or if they just need it in 1 year, then that's all they put aside. And it's the same with others. So that's where I was a little confused, like, well, if we have 5 roads that we need, do we need to put down 5 roads and then how much each road is? But we don't necessarily need
want
to
that
do
much
that.
detail.
Now, if it was a road and then a culvert, then I think we would have to list them separately. But right now, I don't think we have to do any culverts. So we can just plug in $400,000 for this next piece. It doesn't mean, we could still, here, and here's another thing. So you have the line item there.
And then do they break it down?
Yeah, they break it down. Okay, let me go back to. It's water and sewer, buildings.
So you're suggesting that we just ask them to put 400,000 in the 2025 or 25-26 budget, the 26-27 budget, 27-28 budget, and just run 400,000 across for this 5-year or 6-year.
Yeah, and every year we have to review the capital improvement plan, but we have to have a plan for 5 to 6 years. It's 5 or 6, I can't remember, but and you can see where some of those things, they don't even go out 5 or 6 years because then they're paid for in year 1 or year 2 or whatever. But I think that this would be okay. And I will be meeting with Ally Norris from PM Gash. They're our interim finance director. this week, and if there's other details that we need, she's gonna, or if she says, oh, no, you shouldn't be doing it this way, then, you know, I can email everybody.
Jillian, I think that if we did that and then just attached our spreadsheet to it that shows when the roads were last worked on and, you know, if they wanted to.
I would increment to 3% a year though, because that's average inflation.
Step in.
Okay,
So 400 to 412, and 3% times 412 and so on. Just to cover what average inflation has been over long
Yeah.
term.
sure, okay.
I think that's a great way, you know, it's a very good start.
It's a start, and we can polish it from there, and then,
Because we could easily substantiate, looking at the last 2 years' road improvement plans, the $400,000 from the county
yeah, and,
road agreement.
okay, all of this is water and sewer because well, utilities is under me and, but, okay, so if you want to look at this, I probably should have just pointed out something from water and sewer. It would have been easier for me, but, so they take one of those line items and then they break it out and have a little bit more detail. And this has nothing to do with capital improvement plan, so I'll put that back. Now,
And then how will that flow into the actual budget? Does it have to be, the capital improvement plan has to be approved before,
yeah,
or does it just become a budget line item?
well, that would be the next step. This is the first step, and then we have these other deadlines, and I'm taking it piece by piece at this point. And I left the timeline in my office. So can't show you that.
What I really was curious about was, you know, we could put a capital improvement proposal, I guess is what this is, in, but do we need to then by February meeting, create a resolution for the board saying we propose that be added to the budget, or?
It will be, so everything that we create for the budget will go over to Ally. We will review every department and then it will be polished however it needs to be. Then it will go in front of the board for a resolution. There will have to be a public hearing.
It'll be a consent agenda sort of a thing, or it'll come to them as a whole group.
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
I don't know if it'd be consent, but who knows at this point. But at least that's how it was. Last year was a little bit different, but
Okay, so we as road advisory do not need to create a resolution to
no,
ask.
no, 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 no.
Okay,
No,
we
we just-
literally did that last year. That was our
Yeah, oh,
mechanism last year.
And the difference with that was we were using ARPA funds.
Ah, yes.
So that was a whole other animal because those
We
were
have to
federal
grant.
funds. But we don't have to because we don't have, you know, we don't have funds right now. We just have to beg. I mean, really, but, now, under this capital improvement plan, agenda item. So I did include and this is, I found out this after I created the packet. So that makes it a whole lot easier, but I did include what we were working on, the different quadrants, and then have the connector road list, which I tried to upload, you know, Roy's list, the 10 years going back, I tried to upload it to Granicus. There was lots of issues and I just scrapped it. I'm like, well, you know what, somebody's gonna have to pull it up on their
Doesn't
computer.
like that spreadsheet.
Yeah, which, you know, if Ian was here, we'd be able to look at it, figure out a different way. But the connector road, we need to continue that, the cycle over the 10 years. You have to look to see what needs to be, you know, improved again. And then I was thinking about, and I was a little disappointed because I thought it was included in here. I included the 2024 agreement because I think, Caroline, you had asked for the agreement. Somebody in the committee asked for the last 2024 agreement. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna put it into this agenda packet item because it would have the road, the length of the road, and then also the amount that we paid for. It doesn't have the length. And I think that we figured out the length before with other roads, and I was, for some reason, thought it was here. But this could still give us an idea for, like Delhi Court, you live by Delhi Court.
Mhm.
How long, is that as long as your road, do you think?
It's a little longer. I think mine is, point, I can't remember what mine is. Mine's short. Mine's probably only a couple of 100 yards.
And how long do you think Delhi Court would be?
Delhi Court is probably about twice that,
Oh, okay,
from end to end. And now I'm talking about, well, if you go to the very end to the last house and then the B2B starts there, right about there now.
oh, okay,
You know, there's a turnaround and then the
Yeah.
B2B kind of crosses through there, so.
oh, interesting. And that, we just had a gravel, we paid for a gravel uplift.
Right.
And says
That
6
looks great.
inches of limestone. And including drainage, brush mowing, canopy cutting, shaping the existing surface. That was $51,000. So that gives us an idea of how much, you know, find another road about that length or, you know, however long. But this would be helpful to figure out later on how the $400,000 that we
Sure,
can spend.
absolutely.
And this came to the total,
I mean, the 2024 one.
yeah. Gosh, it seems like there was something different. Oh, yeah, we had Park Ridge on here and we removed that because we didn't have enough money. So the total was 672,000 and we had a big paving project. You know, that Laurentide, Park Ridge, and then the grant, that came to 538,747. So we'll just have to back that off by 100,000-ish. We'll be able to figure it out. But, and we did we had a little bit of a list the last time. Park Ridge, Pine View, Lakeview, question marks on both of those. Cedar Ridge, and that would be a crack fill, and we need to track down the HOA president, I think,
Where's Cedar Ridge?
in Arbor Point neighborhood, you know, where the neighborhood across Park Road from, what is it? Country French Country?
French Country Estates.
Yeah. And it's the road that, doesn't it go along? Yeah, that,
And it will get heavy use this winter because of the whole Park Road and Stabler Road problem cutting through the neighborhood. It was Rick Stites was the HOA president for Trailwoods. And I don't know that he is any longer, but he was last year.
I know somebody that's on the board, but I can contact that person. But, and then they hired a management company, so I don't know how that works. They would still have to have a board. I don't know.
They had an HOA address. Used to have it.
Julia, I'm gonna ask a really silly question, so you need to forgive me.
Go ahead.
I would assume naively that we're going to prioritize these, and let me tell you where that comes from. I don't know what's going to happen, and I got a sense, and this may be a poor choice of words, I'm trying to coach my words, but I got a sense of trepidation from the Milton County Commission meeting today, that they have their budget for 2025, but they're waiting to see what happens after January 20th. And they're concerned that there'll be some changes in funding coming out of the federal government to the state governments, from state governments down to the counties. So they have their budget and their finance all signed up and everything, and they have it prioritized, so in case things change radically after January 20th, they'll be able to react to it, you know, in a way that's not a surprise to them.
Yeah, and I don't know how much that, I mean, I'm assuming every 4 years, if a new president is elected, that they go through the same thing. You never know, but, and then in 2 years, isn't it 2 years when the governor is, her term is up? She can't run again?
Yeah, she turns out.
She terms out, okay, so then that could be a big changeover. I think that would be more impactful
Okay,
than at the national, but I'm just speculating. And we did just, our county just did pass a millage, or, renewed the millage for the road commission.
sure.
So there will be some money, but how much?
Yeah.
Because then we'll have to shift. But
Actually, to kind of
that's a
springboard
good
off,
question, I guess we'll have to wait.
springboard off of his question. How much does the federal funding affect Washtenaw County Roads Commission?
I don't know, that's a good question.
For the primary roads it may, not for the neighborhood roads and the local roads that we're dealing with.
Well, yeah, and then we have the interstates, which would be federal. Then there's MDOT, which connects to the interstate. Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe when we go to save the date, Roads 101, we can ask these questions.
It'll be after January 20, so much more will become clear.
Yeah, but those are really good questions.
The Department of Ag in Michigan State is looking forward, anticipating a lot of big changes federally. I mean, it's not having to do anything to do with roads, but I know somebody who works for the Department of Ag and he said there's gonna be considerable downsizing that's gonna happen. So, and that's federal funding is going to affect the state, which is what's happening there. So I was just wondering how much that affects roads.
Well, so just moving backwards, we were talking about trying to get the homeowners association, and it is indeed arborpointsub.com.
Oh, okay.
There is an E on Arbor Point.
Okay.
Sub.com is their homeowners association email. And in this particular case may have more weight coming from you than one of us saying, local roads repair roads advisory committees looking at crack fill repair for Cedar Ridge.
Yeah, and if you
Yeah.
go back to that one map out of the three, let's see which one, oh, here, on this would be page 8. The primary and local paved roads. So most of these roads that they're listing that are in poor shape, Arbor Point,
Is part of it.
oh yeah, there's most of their roads.
And that's their sort of primary drag through it. That's the main part of
The
it.
Cedar, yeah, and we have to find out how much crackville is too. I mean, the road commission would know.
Yeah, because that's different than the other stuff.
Well, maybe the way to say it is because, we're not necessarily gonna be in charge of it, is say, we're proposing this to the road commission.
Yeah, I think we should talk with the road commission first before we approach and those are public roads, so we can, we're not interfering with anybody and, any neighborhood's business. Then, and we were looking at quadrants too. And so that's what we're gonna have to figure out is. Well, the other quadrants don't have as many roads, which is a positive for us regarding funding. Yeah, and up here next to the city of Dexter, there's, and these are just the paved roads, so that's the other thing.
Well, that's Bent Tree up there.
Yeah, Bent Tree. And those offshoots. Is it Bonero? It's one of them. Moosaw Lane.
Oh, the little, like,
Or-
those
yes.
furry things.
Yeah.
I'm just familiar with Bent Tree itself.
Well, this is what, anyway, we have their capital improvement regarding the funding, the amount of funding, then next meeting we'll have to really just hash this out. So we can make some calls for any questions that we have.
probably a good idea to bring Cedar Ridge to the road commission's attention. And yeah, if we go back to the crack ceiling,
Here,
it just depends on the length of the road though.
page 10 has it.
Has it?
Cost per mile.
Well, that would be, is that for repaving though?
No, crack ceiling.
Oh, it's crack
Where
ceiling.
is it?
Seal coat,
Because the
mill
road, if a road
resurface.
is in fair condition or poor condition, you know, what different things are. So crack sealing is assuming that the road is still in good condition. So then the question is, does the county road commission consider Cedar Ridge to still be crack fillable?
Yeah, or
Or
does
do
it,
they want to go to seal coat?
hopefully they won't say, oh, you need to pulverize and resurface. So is that what the red means?
That's what the 220,000.
The red means it's no longer a good road.
Yeah, it's poor for, yeah, rating
And
4 or 1 through 4 or whatever.
I'm sorry, my computer's dead, so I don't have the length of Cedar Ridge. So it's not a mile.
We have that in a spreadsheet.
Say it's more like half a quarter of a mile. It extends from Zeeb through the neighborhood and to Park in a sort of a J shape.
We'll have to get into the detail. We're not gonna be able to, you know.
Yeah, eventually, I think we're gonna have to,
But we could bring it up with the road commission, say we'd like to crack fill it, will you still allow that, okay, we need to
right, or
extend it to more extreme measures.
we wouldn't need to reconstruct the whole thing.
No. I didn't think it looked, you know, it's not great, I think it needs maintaining, but I wouldn't say that it was poor, I would say it was fair.
Yeah, and I drove through there during campaigning, you know, delivering flyers or whatever, and I don't remember it being terrible.
Well, I think if we ask, tell them that's one of the ones we'd like to pull forward, at least we, you know, tell them to get, that's what we're looking at for the list.
Yeah, and then there's that whole subdivision, except for that little bit of yellow. I don't know why that one would be fair compared to the rest.
I mean, the one that's just north of it?
Well, it's inside the neighborhood.
Oh.
Yeah, see, it's
Little
just a
tiny,
little bit
tiny.
of yellow. Okay,
Maybe it was improved at some point.
yeah, and it also, I remember there was some road construction going on in that neighborhood, and was that just the entrance? And this is outdated to some degree, a little bit. So that's something, okay, I'll contact, Adam Lake.
Jillian,
Or-
are you talking about my neighborhood,
Who are you?
Pam?
Oh,
The
No.
yellow? I can tell you about the yellow and green if you were talking about my neighborhood.
no, not your neighborhood. We were
Okay.
talking about Arbor Point.
Oh,
But I
okay.
can see how you have a little bit of yellow in yours too.
Yep.
And the green. Yeah, and that's Wing Drive there.
Yeah.
And that, they had a special assessment. At some time, I think that was the very first special assessment. But, okay, well, let's,
Jillian, moving backwards, do we need to
Sure.
make a motion to propose the capital improvement
sure,
proposal being $400,000? And then increasing at 3% per year,
yeah, could we have,
5 years,
how could we,
just so we memorialize it.
well, how about, okay, I'm just gonna write in our own line, because they didn't include roads for us.
It's never been there before, it's new.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it right above the DDA. And then it's saying estimated total cost. I don't know, do we need all of that? See,
5-year total cost.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
Oh.
412, what's 412 times
3%.
3%?
so the first one was 400,000. 412.
424.
103.
436. 9.
What was that last one?
449 plus 436 plus 424 plus 412 plus 400. 2,121. It's 5 years times $400,000-ish.
All right, so, sorry, I was looking at this other thing, if we just do 1, 2, 3, because they do have a 6-year here, but there's very few.
2,121,000 if they want a total for the 5 years.
Okay, say that again,
2,121,000. The first year is 400,000. The second year is 412. Third year is 424,000. The fourth year is 436. The fifth year is 449.
Okay. And that was a 3%
Mhm.
increase.
And since Bob put it so eloquently, shall it be your motion?
Propose that we put a placeholder in for $400,000 incremented 3% per year over the next 5 years.
Is there support? You write it down. I know it's a little different when you.
That was the purpose of this
yeah.
meeting, was to get this capital program together, so now we can say we officially.
And since this is a financial. This is finances, then financial, we need to do a roll call vote.
Oh, we're not actually spending the money, we're proposing that
Still
someone
is.
else spend the money.
Yeah, we still.
Total vote was it?
2,121,000. For 5 years.
Mhm.
Bob, could you call the roll, please?
Good.
Yes.
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 Motion passes.
Mhm.
5, or it went to be, yeah, there's 5, unanimous, yeah.
Roll call vote.
Oh, yeah, it reminds me of something. Okay, this is awesome. I will be meeting this week with Ally. And next week it's due, so we're kind of ahead of time. Yay, okay, anything else? Let's see, it's unfinished business. Oh, approval of the minutes. Have to do that. And wherever that went. I just read them. I know that they're in here.
Right here, if you want to read it off.
I was fine with the minutes. Everybody? Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes? Support?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Linda, did you say aye?
I said aye.
Okay. Motion passes. The minutes are approved. Yay. Okay, there's board and committee reports. Any discussion regarding those? No.
Nope, we had a discussion about trying to get everybody to the meeting next week. And then we'll make a report about that, I guess.
Yeah, and John Reiser was providing, planning commission reports to the board, so I was just including them. He's no longer on the planning commission as the board liaison. It's Kathleen Brandt, and I have not talked with her about reports or whatever she's gonna do. And I think it's kind of important because of developments and different things, so we do need somewhat of a report. The other thing I could do is just include the agenda and video for anybody that wants to, if there's a topic in the agenda, you just scroll to that area of the video if you want to listen to it. Would that be okay? Okay, until, I will ask,
I would ask her though, if there is something of particular interest that she might, give us, a point, hey, a new subdivision's come forward, or hey,
or it's in the works, or yeah, that's a good idea.
as opposed to just handing us the video link.
Okay. And I provided somewhat of a report. It's just, yeah, it's been crazy. It's like,
He's like a new job.
oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're having a good time, but it's just, like drinking from a fire hose while you're standing on one foot, trying to keep your balance. I guess that's it. Educational information newsletter, we went over and back to public comments. And there's still nobody in person.
Renee's not there.
Pam Boyd has her hand raised. May I unmute her?
Sure, Pam?
Pam, go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Pam Boyd. So if you look at page 36 of the packet, the primary local paved roads, most of my neighborhood is on there. And if I recall correctly, the last major upkeep was a chip seal in 1992. I will tell you that my roads are in really good condition, and it surprises me that they have it labeled as a 2, but I'm not a road commission worker, and so I'm not qualified in that regard. But I have no complaints about the roads in our neighborhood. Rob might have a different opinion. But I'm kind of saying, I mean, don't just take my word for it, but I wouldn't want you to put my roads on as a priority. I'm assuming you have a criteria list of the age of when the last major road work was done, actual condition as in the visual, number of complaints, and then whatever other. I'm assuming you've got a criteria that you go through. And I would just say that yeah, I hope you get some roads done, and I'm just surprised that we're labeled as bad as we are. I think we're gonna be fine for another couple years. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Yeah, Pam, and that's what we're working on, is creating a list of the different roads in our township that are not public or not private or primary. And then Caroline is working on the history of the different roads. If we can't find a history of maintenance or improvements, then we are looking for when that road was created. And all of that's gonna be in our Excel spreadsheet, which will be transferred to GIS. We do have a plan. It's just, we have a lot to do.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for all you guys do.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Pam.
I don't see any other hands raised.
Anybody else wanting to speak during public comments? Nope.
Nope.
Okay, let's see. Well, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn,
For support.
7:45.
What time?
7:46.
7:46.
I will support.
Support? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We're out of here.
I was thinking about it, if you're gonna contact the road commission and say, hey, we're thinking about Cedar Ridge, do you wanna say, hey, we're thinking about Cedar Ridge and these others, and just give them a heads up? We've never done this before with them. I don't know if they care, with the other roads that we talked about at the last meeting for the
Oh.
2025 improvements. just say, so that we don't have to specify.
Well, it's, the gravel roads. Yeah, I don't think, I think if it's a paved road, but gravel, I don't know.
We're looking for an uplift. I'm just trying to think how much information it will be useful to give them because they're developing their 2025 road agreement. to
Yeah,
present to
okay,
the
you know what?
township. If we get ahead of what they've got, and say, these are the roads we're thinking about,
We should coordinate.
they will probably have other ideas, but
Well, and they're gonna focus mostly on the connector roads like they have, and we wanna make sure that we have other.
right, which is why I say if we
Yeah.
tell them what we're thinking first rather than ask.
So what happens is you got two people going on the pass and they never intercede, they
Yes.
just have their own little agendas. And communication is the essence of a great organization, and us telling them what our priorities are, even though it may not be their priorities, will at least cross.
Yeah, and they had no problem revamping their. Their list based on what we were like, because that was the first time. That we did other roads other than connector, so I mean, they were very accommodating and they did and we had to change things too, and they kept coming back. But okay, this is awesome, thank you so much and happy holidays.
Jillian.
It's already beginning of December, it's crazy.
No thanks. And our next meeting is January or something, January 8th.
I thought it was like.
Oh, wait,
fourth.
is it not on the bottom of this? Ah. Oh, that's right, because we didn't know,
January
we
8th.
just created it.
Because of the new year.
Yeah.
January 8th.
Okay, I'll make sure I put it down at the bottom of, as I used to.
And then do we know if Christie got the list of our meetings?
Yes.
Okay. Just to make sure that we got the right.
Oh, yeah, yeah. This is next meeting. It's,
Well, we should say next regular meeting because we're having a special meeting on December 9th.
well, that's for DDA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, but
and then
road-
road,
roads.
We're-
Be there, so.
So on the December 9th meeting, kind of, the more of us from the road advisory that come, the better, just to listen in and learn.
sure,
listen and
if
learn.
you wanna learn,
The
yeah.
only agenda item is trying to figure out this capital improvement for DDA and then coordination of the roads, but DDA has focused more on commercial roads.
Well, and it's gonna be more than just the roads and the DDA, it's all the DDA capital improvement.
Yes.
And I don't know if there's already a list, or if you just have projects, I don't know, cause that's gonna be my first official meeting. And then Bob Stites won't be there, so who's your chair, your co-chair?
Secretary.
Yeah, you're.
Then is the treasurer.
Okay.
I go under the knife on the ninth.
So we won't see you.
No,
Oh,
Well, good luck.
yeah.
yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm going under the knife. I'm having surgery.
Oh,
I thought it was cogent and wiser to dodge bullets and IEDs than it was put on sunblock. And so I've had skin cancer here, here, and I've got a bad spot across here.
you get some Mo's.
Actually, he's kind of a half plastic surgeon, half dermatologist. And actually, the chair of the University of Michigan Medical School was a dear friend and recommended him because the Mohs program, again, is getting a little weak. So,
Oh, that's good to know,
yeah,
because I've been under the knife at the Moses Clinic before, so, but that was a long time ago. It was 8 or 9 years ago. Because I too just had to forego, I mean,
yeah.
did the baby oil with the tinfoil thing and.
Oh.
Back in the day and, Irish English skin doesn't.
All right, I'm gonna. Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah, we need a log.
Yeah, I've had so many things burned and
I was-
biopsied and, yeah.
One of the best dermatologists, his name is Ornstein. He's right.
So that was
very
the-
close to-